So it's round one, Formula Drift Long Beach, and there was a lot that had to get done before our first event. You know, we do have the whole off season, but we have so many other things going on at Forsberg Racing. We're doing the off-road events. We did the Mint 400. We're getting some other builds prepped up for our SEMA debut later this year. And I know that sounds very, very far out, but you still gotta get some of those pieces in the mix and flowing. The race car came together very well. It performed perfectly on track. One nice constant we had for the weekend. The biggest change up for this year is Aiden Copham's car. That's been consuming most of our off season going into his first round, Formula Drift Atlanta Pro Spec Round 1, which is coming up in just another couple weeks. Thousands of hours go into these builds.
My name is Aiden Copham. I'm driving Pro Spec under Chris Forsberg this year. We're out here at Round 1 Formula Drift. They are building a 400Z for me. These cars are just built so amazing, and I can't wait to get behind the wheel. He's a veteran. He's been doing this for over 25 years. His guidance is going to be a huge jump for me. I've driven fast cars before, but I have not driven a turboed car. So I am very excited to feel the turbo response time. And just looking at this, it doesn't even feel real. This is just such an amazing build. They do an amazing job. For them to take the time and build me a car alongside of Chris is just, it's incredible. My family owns Brainerd International Raceway, and Chris is coming on and helping us build an event. It's called Octane Auto Fest, and we're building a whole new drift track for it. It's just gonna be an amazing time. I would love to move here one day, honestly. I mean, if the funds are ever good enough, I mean, it's a lot better in Minnesota. If I didn't snowboard, I would absolutely hate it and would love to move, but I mean, I'm super excited for the events, and the summers up there are amazing, but it is not like this. I mean, it's just nowhere near as beautiful. The one thing that you guys don't have, though, is ice drifting and snow drifting. You guys are...
Well, no, we went to Montana, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, you got to drive a little bit for that versus we got it in the backyard. Basically, my entire driving career so far has been car problems. So just to be able to jump into a car like this and just dial it in, it's already set up by Chris and his team. I'm just super stoked to have a car that I know works and I can really just focus on my driving than blowing up engines.
How did you feel when you went pro, for the Pro Spec?
Honestly,
how was that day? How was that feeling?
So that weekend, I was just the most dialed driver. That's one of the times that my car actually was working super well. Just continued through it. I won my license, and honestly, I didn't really have that super excited feeling because I know what it takes to go pro. It's not really gonna feel real until I'm on the line in Atlanta ready to go. It hasn't really hit me yet that I'm even supposed to drive until I'm like there and I'm like, damn, I gotta go down this hill. Like, whoa, what's going on? Brainerd, we have 3 drift tracks. So we're building this new one. We have a road course and a skid pad. The road course, the entry is basically the exact same as Atlanta. So I do have a lot of practice on like a super high speed layout, so that's a really good benefit for me. I can't stop looking at this car and the new look.
On top of all of that, since we're running 2 cars, we expanded into our new Forsberg Racing full-size 3-car stacker. And so we got an international front truck with a Hallmark 53-foot rear setup. Nice little living quarters, 2 cars up top, dual awnings. Also, the one side can be expanded all the way 80 feet long. So we can do a full 80-foot by 30-foot covered space, which I've actually never had before. Even when I had my toter, it was a 15-foot by 40-foot covered setup. And so any other extra shade that you wanted was with easy ups and other tents. Problem with that is when it's raining, you get all those gaps. The last couple years with my other trailer, nice 40-foot awning, 12 feet off, and then we would row it out with all the easy ups. And so we would have about a 25-foot by 70-foot space. If it rains, it kind of comes in between the easy ups. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt. So now having fully projected, walled off, it's secure, it's safe, it's more room. It's been a lot of headache, I will say, acquiring a 80,000 pound, piece of rolling machinery is a pain in the butt. When it showed up, it was a bit of a mess, we'll just say. A lot of the photos that I saw of it, either from the past and or not exactly current, and or kind of shooting around certain things, needed more repair than we obviously expected. It's also because I want to hold a high regard to making sure that our setup shows up not only looking good, but working appropriately. And so we had to throw a couple extra man hours, you'll say, and bring in some hired help to get the rig ready to go for Long Beach. And that was just a whole endeavor in itself. We're gonna button up a few more things before it goes on the full lap when we come up to go to round 2 for us, round 1 for Aiden. The rig will go from Atlanta down to Orlando and out to Brainerd for Octane Auto Fest in June. And then it will go back to the East Coast for Connecticut Formula Drift and then Indianapolis, Seattle, back to Brainerd for Octane Auto Fest round 2, and then down to Vegas and back to SoCal. So I think it's just going to be chooching around the country all year long. Tuesday Media Day is an awesome time to get out and throw some laps down in the new car, on the track, and just kind of getting some friendly reminders of where all those walls are. Got a lot of good data. We did our first couple runs actually with no nitrous just to get some good pedal drive into the car. John Reed was on the laptop, making sure everything was looking super happy. We threw the nitrous on at the very end of the day.
What's going on?
Putting on the juice, dude. Just adding more and more to it throughout the day.
Rolling away right now?
Huh? Yeah, man, we're rolling.
Rolling.
Look at this thing go.
It's all in the hips. It's all in the hips. Look, get the hips. It's all in the hips.
Hips don't lie.
We've been running it under just full boost and no nitrous this whole time, just seeing how the engine does, because we usually rely on the nitrous for so much mid-range, so we're trying to get some like good data without the juice to get like the overall mapping on the car really good, because I get kind of, what do you want to call it, selfish and just want nitrous all the time because it's awesome. Put some laps down, got some chase runs in with Odie, and the car's feeling ready to go for the weekend. Trying not to sweat it out first day. Wrapped the whole day off with a quick photo shoot of the new livery with Destin Industries out on the track in turn 2 of Forma Drift Long Beach. And it's like a really cool spot that I like to debut a lot of our liveries. Get the palm trees in the background, you got that catch fence. It's just such a sick view that you don't see in many parts of the world. Just having that downtown racetrack by the beach with the ocean in the background, absolutely sick. I would call it a very successful media day. They're always good. I don't know if we've ever really had an unsuccessful media day outside of not being here, but that's only happened like 3 times in 20 years. Happy with the car. Car's driving good. Car's running good. We're just getting ready to go. Oh, we gotta get out of Larry's way.
Hi there.
There you go, buddy.
Hi there. All right.
Track to meet, or? There you go, thank you.
You're gonna be driving at Brainerd this year?
Yeah.
That's our home turf.
Is it?
Yeah.
We're home with Aiden, so we're gonna go say hi to him soon. Him and Trey.
They're over there.
He was just talking about them right now.
That's exciting.
You guys came all the way out for this?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right.
Love
Yeah, we're
it.
from
Thank
Wisconsin,
you.
so
Very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, we're hyped for it.
We've got some new Forsberg Racing merch, some Drift Alliance merch out there as well. Ew, flying bennies. It's actually a real sign in Japan. It says, watch for jumping cats, or look out for jumping cats, something like that. Like, that's an actual translation. Yeah, we thought it was freaking hilarious, so. We've got some new Forsberg Racing merch, some Drift Alliance merch out there as well. Liz actually went through and just really envisioned what the space could look like. I was telling her, like, I wanted to feel more like a shop for everyone to come in and kind of hang out and touch and feel the clothes, and not just be standing at the edge of a booth up on a table and looking at shirts hanging on easy ups. Other bits of new, we got the new race suit, of course, for the start of the season, and Liz really helped me out on this one too. We wanted to go for kind of like a classic retro look, right? But obviously with like new modern tech. Got a fresh OMP suit, all black, a little bit of white on there, and we had all of those patches on the suit custom stitched by an embroidery shop around the corner. So we just took all the logos, had them all thrown on either white or black backgrounds, you know, getting the white piping around the outside. And then we had the badass Drift Alliance back patch made for it, you know, kind of throwing it back to the vibes from like 10 years ago. Felt like it was kind of the right move, you know, big livery change, big, you know, sponsor changes, things like that. It's funny because on Friday morning, you know, the boys put the car in line while I'm getting myself ready, and it's down the chute and over in the back for the first practice session. I'm on the scooter and I'm ripping down by all the cars. I get all the way to the front and I didn't see the car. I was subconsciously looking for an orange roof. I've had an orange roof for the past like 3 years, and I went right by the car and I turned around and looked back and I was like, oh, there it is. It was like 4 back. But yeah, the new colorway, the new look, everything. I'm actually super digging it because we've had this kind of like slow progression in this direction since 2023. I think it really started with the race truck, getting all that black, white, and red out, leaning into the Nismo colorway, leaning into more of like Optima and then Mobile One, and so on and so forth. And next thing you know, all of our cars are black, white, and red. So it's been this like little bit of a theme that's like been like slowly, naturally progressing, and I love it. I think it looks great. Even the rig, you know, had that colorway on it. We're probably gonna rewrap it, but it's absolutely working for now. It's got carbon print with big white blocking and red stripes. I was like, cool. Overall, like look and feel of the car, the truck, the suit, and everything was absolutely digging it. Going into the runs, consistent, cars feeling 100%. I'm gonna do another video where we go into more of the details of the Wally system for qualifying, and then how that's also being implemented into the tandem judges. It's not as high of a percentage as the qualifying day. We'll get into all that technical stuff another time. Right now we're just talking about cool, fun, flashy colors. But yeah, the road to Long Beach was a long one. When that rig showed up, it just kind of took the wind out of my sails. You know, like when you're spending that kind of money on that large of a piece of equipment, you know, you're waiting for it to show up with a big bow on it, you know, smash a champagne bottle on the side. Yeah, it looks like somebody might smash something into the side of it. On the way out, something happened. It got a flat tire. Seemed kind of rare since it was unloaded when it got shipped out, right? There was no cars, no nothing in it. And there were no spare tires with the rig. It popped the tire, which was weird, which might have meant like the brake was dragging or something interesting. Tire blows and the airbag hits the ground, the airbag fails, and just like all that's got an instant reminder of what big rig life is like, because the same stuff used to happen on my toter. I got down to being able to change a spare tire on my trailer in like 18 minutes because I was dealing with one almost every day. We put new cabinets in, we put new floor in it. It is a used trailer, and these things are, you know, a couple $100,000 new. I mean, that setup new would probably be about $600,000. You know, we obviously went with a used one, like 90% of the people do, especially in our space. You know, we're not NASCAR, we're not rolling new rigs out every 3 years. It's got all the good bones, it's all there. I'm just putting my level of OCD on how I want things to look and feel when it's out there representing us. But otherwise, everything went great. Like I said, car ran perfect, the pit looked sick, and everybody was just having a downright good time. Qualified third, we got knocked out in 16, we finished 10th overall. But yeah, I'll get into all the details on why and some of the bits about the Wally. I went up to the judges and actually asked them, WTF, because I didn't agree with the call. I can count on my hands how many times I've gone up in the tower to talk to the judges in the past 20 plus years, and that was one of them.